I've been researching the primordial language, trying to find the power of sound that is behind the hekau. So well, I'll tell you a few things, examples, very simple examples for it, that before they put words together to have meanings, they actually put the words together to produce a certain power. And then, when they wanted to give a meaning, they would get those energetic principles and put them in a meaning. For example, if you wanted to lift something, you wouldn't say lift. No, that means energy from down here. That means place, something's put here, then moves, and then up. The letter for stability down there, the letter that moves energy, but in which direction? Up, and puts it here. So, I'll give you an example. The letter that moves energy is R, R. When you say R like that, this will automatically, if you say it to the mouth, will move energy very strongly. Now, you want to direct it. Is that energy going up? Is that energy, is it starting from here and going up? Is it starting from a place and falling down? So how do I say it? Okay, I want to describe the sun going up like that. So, R, and then the A comes, it's a sound that means placing things up there. So if you say Ra, Ra means motion of sort of evolution, the motion in evolution, putting things there. And sometimes I research our Egyptian dialect to find words that are not in the Arabic language. And when I find them, I see that they have some ancient roots, and then I analyze them. And for example, we still say today, Ra means something is growing. So they take the motion of energy and then they make the meaning out of it. And that's why even ancient names sometimes is he who does that, you know, things like that. It was very little, one thing moving up. Or, for example, if you say the kha. Kha is a word that makes like if you have an opening in a place, kha. Now, if you say khor, that means with khor you can make the rain come down, khor, or something like a stream coming out of a wall, khor. You are accentuating that motion. If there is water there and you say khor, you can bring it out and make it more. So the primordial language was a language, a way of moving energy, just like music. It was a way of moving energy. And then if we want to express an idea, then we take those things and use them to express our ideas. So this is a second building block that we have here. Then the proportions of the human body, you see, must somehow follow the musical scales. Now, many people erroneously think that the golden ratio that we use in sacred geometry is the beginning and ending of everything. So everything follows the golden ratio. No, because Johann Kaiser, the one who revived modern harmonics, he said the ancients used to call architecture frozen music. That means architecture has to go through all the proportions of music so that the temple is actually, again, within the mind of divinity. He said, the architects today, when they stick to one proportion, they think the ancients used it. It's like building a symphony with one note, you know. Get to the rest of the proportions. So that means here, if you look even, so the human body must be, in a way, a frozen musical symphony. The distribution of the body, even on the energetic level, the chakras and all that, must be related to a symphony. So I'm going to go a bit quicker. Then we have sacred power spots. We, like we said, BioGeometry has at its goal the connection to sacred part, to this sacred energy, that's actually the energy of the center of a circle, the energy that balances everything in the universe. And it's a multi-dimensional energy because the center doesn't have time-space coordinates. So there are power spots. This is, again, the history of humanity is linked around power spots. We have to include this building block in any activity, because any activity that is not linked to a certain power spot in Earth or in the sky is incomplete and out of balance. That's why all spiritual and religious rituals on Earth in any culture are linked one way or the other to the energies of the Earth and the sky in sacred power spots. So this is again one of the building blocks that we're going to use. Now, the same thing we show the pyramids here, they are on sacred power spots, but at the same time, there are sacred power spots in the sky. So actually we're connecting the ones on Earth with the ones on the sky. So this becomes, we're now into our building block, the connection of the power spot on Earth to the power spot in the sky. Okay, now these are the shafts showing the connections to the power spots in the sky. And by the way, the shafts were not open at the end. They didn't have an open end. So you'd ask yourself, why construct a shaft and go through all the trouble when it stops about 30 centimeters or 40 centimeters before the cladding doesn't come out? Because it resonates with the star when the pyramid is built through proportion. It has to be a closed, like musical box, to catch a standing wave that resonates with the star. So that's why it's like that. So there are many theories, people saying, oh, these are ventilation shafts. Yeah, you didn't want that pharaoh to suffocate. He wanted to have fresh air, you know. Yeah, but it doesn't work that way. Now, the most important star for them, or the star constellation, was the Orion constellation, and in Orion constellation, the planet Sirius. Some people think that the planet Sirius is so important in all the cultures in the world because it's the brightest stars in the sky. So people anywhere in the world, they see the brightest star, oh, okay, I think that's good, yeah, we're going to worship it because it's bright. I mean, you know, sometimes you think we really underestimate those old people. I mean, so in reality, the star Sirius is a sacred power spot in the sky. That means it is a very strong place of BG3, and what they used to, I mean, how did they interact with Sirius? When in energetic principles, it is always, you connect to something always at its rising, at the moment in the beginning, or at the end. Okay, you connect to something always at the moment it starts at the horizon. That's the beginning of everything is the start. So the planet Sirius, when it comes just above the horizon, that's the time, because it goes 70 days, it goes through the sky, and then 70 days it's hidden, then rises again after 70 days. When it rises in the horizon, it's usually sometime in summer, in midsummer, and when it rises, it heralds the new year, the new Egyptian year. And if at the same time exactly you have flooding of the Nile, because the flood of the Nile, that's when you get all the richness in the flood for planting and all that, then you have a very, very prosperous year. Now, how did this happen? Sirius is, if you look at our system, the sun is a giver of life. The moon is a giver of cycles also. It controls water cycles and all that. But our spiritual makeup, the spiritual light in our energetic system, comes from Sirius. And you can measure that with BG3. It's not just the location. The star Sirius itself is a very, very strong spiritual emitter. And they located the power spots here, so they knew. Now, when it comes just above the horizon at the flood of the Nile, the waters of the Nile, at that moment, for the rest of the year, they're full of BG3. And the water goes into the plants, goes into the food, goes into everything. So actually, spirituality or the spiritual light goes into every aspect of Egyptian life when this Sirius coincides with the flood of the Nile. So Sirius plays such an important role that the soul of the pharaoh or any Egyptian, when they buried an Egyptian when he died, they wanted the link to Sirius so that the soul could go to its heavenly abode on Sirius. You know, you say, I mean, why should it go out there? I ask you something very simple. Why do all of you think that the spirits of the departed, you always think they're up there? I mean, you bury them down there. But you don't look for their spirit down there, do you? You look for their spirit up there. But maybe that goes back to ancient traditions, because the dead pharaoh, his soul leaves and goes along the path, the sacred way, to Sirius. This is the heavenly abode of the pharaohs. This is the star of Isis. This is where you find Osiris and all that. So you are taking the journey with the celestial boat, because like we said, on the physical, okay, the Nile is down here. But on the energetic level, you're sailing the primordial waters, you know. So you move up and go to Sirius. Now something strange. In the 70 days when Sirius was not apparent in the sky, the Egyptians refused to bury their dead. They would wait, they would embalm and wait, and the burial starts when Sirius comes. So the soul can go up there. So this journey, this balancing journey of the soul. Now, in acts of initiation, you could redo the whole journey in astral projection, out of body experience. So this is the whole experience of how the ancient Egyptians introduced BG3, the spirituality, into the life of the earth through the planet Sirius. And that's why all the rituals are there. Anyhow, Sirius, you'll find it in India. It's called Surya. You'll find it in old Arab mythology. It's called the Shari. You find it everywhere in the world. They have somehow, because they have all been able to detect the BG3 of that planet. So now, I thought now, we must make a certain piece of music to resonate with Sirius so that we achieve that connection of the soul with that spiritual source up there already during our lifetime. So we are permanently connected to Sirius. So that is another building block that was my goal to put in that. Okay. This is the celestial boat. You see, they have it near the pyramids. Now some people are saying, no, this is an actual Nile-going boat.
Wrong slide.
Okay. Some people say this is actually a Nile-going boat. Some Egyptologists say, no, they put it beside the pyramid, symbolic of the celestial journey. And here is a symbol of the pharaoh and the different deities in the boat going up to the sky. Okay, so now with that, we take 5 minutes or 10 minutes break, because I know you're already sitting. Why? There's a reason I'm giving you the break. See, I'm not giving you anything for free. No. I'm giving you a break for a certain reason. Because when you're going to come, I will introduce to you a bit the BioSignatures in a few words. I'll make it short because you all know the BioSignatures. But then we are going to put all that together and sort of have a journey with resonance to Sirius, but the journey will also go through the BioSignatures. So you're going to move your body along the BioSignatures, and that needs you to be very flexible, you know. I want to have elegant people doing it, you know, going through, you know, yes, because if you start jittering like that, you're blocking energies, but if you start really flowing into it, we're going to have good energies. So now, let's take 5 minutes and come back. Now, with both hemispheres synchronized, that's one level. But if you synchronize both hemispheres, instead of synchronizing them with each other, you synchronize them with the center. This is a different level of synchronizing. So that means it's like creating ultimate balance, like a circle. So you have a third level of synchronizing. For example, you know, we spoke about that a lot in the courses. When you just put your two fingers like this, one here, this side and this side, you're already synchronizing both hemispheres. If you just do that. But if you put a third finger that on your heart, or raise your hand, you see, complete to the top, on the, there's a chakra, I know, 1, 2, 3, one up there. Okay, so I can put those two like this on the chakra, or those two like this, and the third one on the third eye here. The whole idea is to connect the two to a spiritual center, not to synchronize them with each other. You get this, the BG3 type of synchronization. So if you put it in the music, it will do that for you, this synergy. So the synchronizing is done to a higher level. Now, balancing biological functions, that it will do it without any additional things like BioSignatures and all that. And we'll go into that. See, here, this is, well, this one is me. Yeah, now this is Omar Rafat. That's my daughter's husband. And he's director of a studio in Montreal. And I gave him a lot of headaches, you know, because he composes along known musical theories and musical systems. But a musician doesn't compose by the laws of biogeometry. So, you know, they look very absurd. Here we have so many intervals, and then after so many intervals you have a note, and this note is like that, and it goes in there, because this is the one that will affect, let's say, the liver. For him, this number and that thing will not affect your liver. Okay, so he puts it, is that the way you want it? Okay, let's check it. And then my daughter and I, and we go and check. And, Omar, it's not affecting the liver. So, okay, I just did what you said. I know, but it's not working. So he says, well, okay, but I have no idea what you're speaking about to begin with. No, take off the thing now. And it's all in the background, you can't hear it anyhow, but take it off, no. Let's go to the beginning. And then, usually, sometimes you put something somewhere later on in the symphony just to correct something, but when you put it there, the first note in the symphony gets disrupted. So we have the liver, we did, okay, that's one organ, Omar. We still have this whole list of organs to go. And he looks at the list of organs, you know, and then I feel he's finished already before we even start, you know. And then, okay, after we do the organs, and he think now, okay, now start composing the music, and we try to fit the tune with the mess I've given you there. So we try to put that. Now he feels, okay, we did it. No, now come the earth energy grid lines. What are those? Oh. Okay, let's start. But I thought it adjusts all the organs. I said, yes, but the earth energy grid lines are. Okay, we go through the same thing again. And then after a bit, okay, Omar, now it's perfect. The grid lines are okay. Now electromagnetic radiation. And then he goes, oh, what's that again? Let's try new principles, you know. And then after we do it, okay, let's check the electrical panel. Let's check this, and let's check. And then she's checking, let's say, the electric panel. And then shouts from there, Omar, it's not working. And he says, well, I mean, okay, what do you want to do? It's not working. And then she comes to, it's not working. So, okay, well, let's see. Omar, take that off, the last thing we put. Let's see, for electricity, we put this combination here, and we put it in there. And then take care that any combination we give you doesn't disrupt the other one. And it goes like that. We've been doing this for a year. We did 30 versions. One of the versions, like the one Robert said, we achieved perfection here, near perfection, and then we were testing outside the grid lines, and when we close the door, they come up again outside. They only does it in the room. Omar, what do you do? He said, I didn't do anything. Well, there's something wrong with the CD. And, you know, and so we keep, you know, blaming him, shouting it all the time. It doesn't go outside, and says, well, what shall I do? It has to go outside, you know. It has to do the grid lines outside. Okay, well, just tell me, you know, and he just tell me what to do. Okay, we'll tell you what to do. Let's try this proportion, you know, and it goes forever and ever and ever. Now, once we tested everything, of course, we went to a lab, because we have, at the end, we have to do many testings in labs. So here, we went to a lab, and this is, you see, they're putting all the sensors on the head. And we did several versions of testing here, and they were sent, that's in Montreal, they were sent to a lab in the United States, and we receive the brain patterns that you see here. We did the first two, left brain, right brain, without the music. That's the initial state. Then we do the second one with the music. And then the third one without the music. And then the fourth one with the music. But we only, because we didn't have much time, so we worked on, let's say, 3-minute intervals between each. And I mean, if we had time, we would have taken a lot of time. We've stopped long enough between each one of them and all that, but we had to do them consecutively. And so here, to understand this diagram, you have the numbers here. They show their numbers for certain locations in the brain. So each one of that, each line here represents certain locations in the brain here. And those locations are here. They call the Brodmann areas in the brain. Those of you who are interested to know, they're the Brodmann areas in the brain. So each area has a number, and he is testing each area separately here. And so these are the results you see from the initial state with music, after effect, no music, and then again music for 3 minutes. So this is just to show you the initial testing we did with the CD. Okay, now I'll just go here and we go a bit further, and we're discussing now about the compression waves in the universe, because you know music produces, like you said, sound produces compression waves. And the background carpet weave that you have in the room is actually based on compression waves. So they're actually like that. We use that diagram a lot in our drawings. Even electricity like that, electric cables produce compression waves. So music enters into the compression wave background like a carpet weave of sound. That's the base of the universe. Imagine this carpet where we're all living on is a sound. So it's sound and inaudible sound. I'll use the word sound to, instead of saying compression waves, you know, I'll just say sound, audible and inaudible. So you are living on a carpet weave of sound. The whole universe is living on a carpet weave of sound. You would think, for example, no, the sun sends electromagnetic radiation, so it's the source of electromagnetic radiation. Okay, it is sending more sound and more that because the sun's rays, when they move through the universe like that, well, they create waves, just like the boat, just like electricity. So now what happens if this is, for example, this is electricity here, this is an electrical cable. This is the sound pattern or the waves coming out of it. Now if my music enters here and resonance occurs, and in this resonance the background echo becomes a BG3 background echo, becomes a spiritual background echo. What it will do, it will also affect the source which created it. Because what happens, the stress of electricity goes beyond electromagnetic fields into the environment, and that's what we call electrosmog. They are the sound waves in the environment that you don't detect with electromagnetic devices. That's electrosmog. What you have here is electrostress from the magnetic field. So the people who are electrosensitive, it's from both. And some people, you tell them, okay, if you go away at a distance from the source, you'll be okay. They know very well that they won't be okay. So you say, how come? I don't measure any magnetic fields anymore. I mean, the source is so far away. You go 50 meters, it should be all right. No, because this might be, I mean, the magnetic field here might be just for a few meters, but this can go kilometers and miles. It's like we did before, you see, with the boat. The boat here, the effect of the boat on the buoy near the shore, you still see it moving. And if it's your body, this very light motion carries the quality of the original impulse, which is electromagnetic radiation, is carried on the sound waves. So we're using that in the other direction. We're putting this spiritual harmony into the sound waves, and we're changing that. And so that you know your emotional energy in the background, your mental energy, it is all sound waves, because it's so much faster. You know, it's faster than the speed of light. When you think, you can go further backwards. So it's all sound waves. Your emotions are sound waves. Your thoughts are sound waves. Okay, here I'm showing that even the atoms have emotion inside them. The electrons are moving around the nucleus. So what happens? They create sound waves. So your body is creating sound waves all the time. So the universe has this mesh of sound waves. Just physical matter creates sound waves. So sound waves are actually, these are the building blocks of the physical universe, not electromagnetic radiation. Electromagnetic radiation is a very exceptional state. But the background is sound waves. With sound waves, like we said, when we speak about wave quantity versus quality, some people look at frequency and say frequency goes like that. You see, you have frequency expanding. For example, I have frequency, you have, as it goes faster and faster and faster, it's a linear effect. And you would think what affects you is the speed of that wave. For example, a slow beat like this will calm you, while a fast one like that will excite you. In reality, if we're discussing the quality, the qualitative effect is not true. Because like in musical instruments, the effect starts, the notes, C, D, F, G, or Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Si, and then after that starts a new octave. So the qualities repeat themselves over all the frequencies. So I can have a slow frequency, a very slow frequency, with a quality that will make you very irritable, and the very fast one that will relax you. How? Because we are looking at the shape of the wave and not about its frequency. It's the shape of the wave that determines the quality of the wave. So you see, so that's just tell you how we use the music. I'm going here very quickly now because we want to start dancing. Okay. BioSignatures, you know, like Robert said, BioSignatures are the energy flows within the organs. You know, it's like you have the meridians, the Chinese meridians on the outer part of the body. So if the shape of the body has energy flows, then every shape has its own energy patterns. I mean, if the outer body has it, why shouldn't every organ have it? Why shouldn't every cell have it? So here, we have traced the energy flow within the organs, and we call that biosignatures. Now, if you mimic this drawing and put it on the outside of your body so that the energy flows through it, then you have an energy pattern. If this energy pattern is the same like the one inside, you have communication straight away. And if you put BG3, if you tweak the pattern a bit to put BG3 in it, you bring BG3 into the organ with the biosignature. So that's how the biosignatures work. They're like integrated circuits of the organs, you know, of the body functions. Here, these are some of the showing that biosignatures, there you can have several of them in the same organ. Imagine each one is a wire, but a different color. That means a different frequency. So they don't interfere with each other. Okay, now I'm going quickly. I'm jumping a bit, and I'm coming here. Now, this is a biosignature. It's a biosignature that has to do with angelic connection. Some biosignatures are not linked to organs, they're linked to certain activities in the brain. The angelic, this one's angelic connection. This one, for example, is The upper one is depression, and the one under it is relaxation. You know, with the depression by signature, we have tested that on mice, on the brains of mice, and we managed to restore the serotonin levels in mice at the same level that the best drug in the market can do it. We did it just with this one BioSignature. So imagine a BioSignature can raise the serotonin level. That means the environmental factors, electricity and all that, or earth radiation that reduces it, a BioSignature will push it back again, and all of a sudden the signs of depression and everything are gone. And it was on the level of the best drug on the market. That means you don't have to take all those drugs, you know, that affect you and all that. So now we're going to take a BioSignature like that and explain how these things work. When you draw a line, I can always measure where it began and where it ends. Even if you draw it on a computer and you print it and you turn it around, I can take my pendulum and tell you where it begins, where it ends. Now, how does that happen? We find something very interesting, that a line that you draw actually begins much earlier than the visible line you drew. And you can trace it. So I take my pendulum, I go before the line, before the beginning of the line. Until I reached, for example, before I reached a vitality level, and then I go further, I reached an emotional level, and then I go further, I reached a mental level, until I reach a spiritual source of BG3 in front of the line, showing me that the line has anything in this material universe starts somewhere else. And so the energy, the subtle energy that goes in there, goes in the beginning of the line. There you have a quality that's very similar to higher harmonic of ultraviolet. And then it moves through the different colors, and at the end comes out with the red infrared. That would be the end of the line. So I can just get a pendulum, put it on ultraviolet, and see where the line starts and ends. Now, I can speak about that for a long time when we're speaking about spirituality, but for us here, one important fact we have to take into consideration, that energy will always move along linear things. If you just draw a line, some of the energy in the room will move through it. Even if you draw it, any linear object will attract energy to go through it. But it will always go through it in the same direction that the line was created originally. Because it's connected to our source, it will always go through that direction. Now, if I want to draw a BioSignature and I draw it in the wrong direction, that means it's not the same BioSignature again, although it looks the same, because if the energy goes in the wrong thing, it's not the same. I don't know if I make you stand on your head for half an hour that you'll feel the same, you know. So here, it's important for us, in order, even if you draw the BioSignature, you know, wearing the BioSignatures and all that is very good. But actually, drawing them is something completely different. Because you start with the line, you move your hand, and I always tell people, drawing is a fantastic exercise. I mean, you go and you do yoga, you do Tai Chi, you do so many other things, and the simplest energetic exercise in your life is holding a pen in your hand, and most of you are choking it to death. You're holding the pen, you know, in such a way, you know, why? I mean, it didn't do any wrong. It's just, so the whole idea is hold the pen like that in your hand, you know, and then so I have to teach people first how to hold a pencil or something in your hand, so let the energy flow. When you write, the energy comes from your feet, through the whole body, through the hand. And so you're right. And that's the way you draw a biosignature. You first, I'm going to draw the line. I'm aware that the moment I put the first part stroke on the paper, that this is something I'm just like a spokesman for a higher order, and that I'm just manifesting it here. And then I go in, you know, the energy goes in the line. So I'm going in the motion of the line, in the bisignature, and then out. Then it is really connected to the body, because those energetic lines of the body have a higher source in archetypal world, and they do that. So you must be aware of that when you draw a bisignature. But now we're going to go even much further. We're going to go, instead of drawing it, you're going to imagine that the bisignature is like a tube with energy flowing in it. But you're going to imagine first, I have the source, the spiritual source, goes through mental, emotional, all that, goes into the tube. Now I'm going into the tube. Now, when I go into the tube, I make the motion, not the motion like this with my finger. No. I am going, like I said, from my feet, I'm going like that. I'm going into the tube. I imagine myself going really into it, and it has, my whole body has to go into it, move through it, and move into it. You will find that the biosignatures will really change your system when you do. It's the most potent way of interacting with biosignatures. And now imagine that when you do that, you are also impregnating the biosignature with the Sirius. I didn't tell you one thing when I explained everything about the Sirius energy. I left one building brick out, but you should have known that. I mean, that I put certain codes to enter into resonance with Sirius, of course. Yeah. So now we put the CD, and then we start going through the biosignatures. So this is a very, very, very potent system. Now the nice thing about it is those exercises, you have choices. So I made, with the biosignatures, I printed 4 sets of biosignatures so that you can tailor the biosignatures to your needs. For example, I want to dance through my biosignature now for a few minutes. Okay. Am I going to do something for my digestive system? Or for my cardiovascular? Or for my spine and things like that? Or we can actually choose the effect that we need from the set of biosignatures. So we made 4 examples. We made them. In my book that's coming out about biosignatures, we give you every information about biosignatures and their use and their drawings from A to Z. Everything's in there, and we give you many of those different combinations that you can use when you dance. Now, the next step, I'm going to ask some of our colleagues to come here and assist me. Jennifer, Susan, Linda, you know, we're going to dance through the biosignatures. Now, usually, I mean, we want to make it exciting, you know, and I don't think that watching Robert or myself do the dance is as enjoyable as watching our 3 beautiful ladies do it. First of all, but we're no way near their flexibility, you see. If Robert or me, if we bend like this, we might never come up again. So, no, but I want to tell you something. I mean, don't think that if your body is very stiff, that you'll have difficulty doing it, because the opposite is true. When the biosignatures go through you, and if you choose the right set, you're going to come out of it very flexible. So if you think I have muscular or spine problems and all that, and I can't do these exercises, then choose the set that has to do with that, and then just go through it, and you'll come out, your spine's perfect and everything perfect. So now we don't have time tonight to go through a whole set. I mean, so we're just going to do a few biosignatures for demonstrations, okay? And with the CD, you have the whole set. Those who will attend the course, we will have time maybe through the course to do different times the whole set. So we'll move through the angelic one, and then we will go through depression and relaxing, and then we will go through the heart. I picked one from each system, and then we will go, this one is from the spine and the lower spine, the sacral area down there, and then we will end up, or not end up completely. I have one for immunity, and then, okay, actually I have a few, these are for digestive system. The first two are, you see, this one is for large intestine here, and then this one is for the brain of your digestive system, the neurons in the digestive system. When you go through this one, this is for the stomach, and then this is another one example from the respiratory set, and then this is a sample card that is in your CD. So in your CD, you have some of those cards that look like this one, and each one, yes, you have the cards with you, okay? So now, we won't go through the sample card, we'll just take one from every thing like that, and we'll start doing the dance. Now, the first one, the angelic one, we're going to go all at the same speed, and then when we finish it, we stop. We'll do this one, let's say, before we move, we'll do it maybe 2-3 times, because this is an easy one, before you go into the complex ones, okay? So, let's begin. First, before you begin, you have to imagine always the source of the BG3 before I enter my biosignature. So this is like a preparation, you know. I imagine it like that, give it a minute like that, and then we start. Okay. They're going to demonstrate it once, so that when you stand up, the ones at the back who don't see, you can all. So you do it once or twice as a demonstration. Yeah. And anyhow, because I like to watch you do it. Come on. Second time, maybe? Second time. Move, I want to see you. That's it, yeah. Come on. That's it. Now, you get the idea of how they're moving? Okay. Actually, I thought you'd move more than that. Come on. Yeah. When we did it earlier, you know, I don't know, are you shy? When we did it earlier, they really went into it. Okay, so now I think we saw them doing it. Now we all stand up and we go twice through the angelic, or 3 times through the angelic, And once you have it, we'll go once through each one afterwards. Okay, start. And then you stop, you pause for a moment. Well, thank you very much. Actually, I should have told you that you shouldn't have clapped at the end. Well, usually when one claps, one clears the room of the energy. No, but anyhow, it's in your system. So, did you? Not when you do something like that, don't, because clapping is too abrupt, you know. Yeah, but it's good to clear the room. Usually, you clap. So now you get a feeling of the biosignatures. I mean, and how you use the Sirius CD. Now, there are many other ways of using the CD. I mean, when you're not using it, just put it face up on the table there at home and just leave it there. It's a support for everything. Support for your body, for your system, for anything, especially if you're electrosensitive or things like that. Just put it on the table face up, and don't let no pointing objects at it or something like that. Keep it a bit free like this and put it there, and you'll see it will work through your system one way or the other while you're asleep and all that. So I think with that, I thank you for being here tonight, and you gave me a fantastic opportunity to watch so many dancers in the room. Well, thank you. And for those of you who I will not see tomorrow, I say maybe till next year, and the ones I will see tomorrow, well, we'll meet in the morning. Thank you all very much.